SoulCast number 30.
I have to talk. I can't stand it. Oh my gosh. Down to the crossroads, fell down on my knees. nice. Now it's coming out that too. That's great. We were doing a double.
Delay.
Turn off that. Just turn off turn it down. Yeah. That was
What
great.
was that echo?
That was rocking, man.
Good
We had
evening.
double rocking.
You know what?
That was
You know what, Punk?
What's that, buddy?
Danny Elfman could not have engineered that stop.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's pronounced Elfman.
So I'm Danny Elfman. I'm Mutt Lang. What else do I got?
Eddie Kramer.
Eddie Kramer.
Sam
Ted
Phillips.
Templeman.
Bob Rock.
Bob Ezrin. I'm saving him up for other podcasts.
Who was Don Kirshner.
Oh, yeah.
Kirshner was awesome.
Because Hirschner was he was a producer, right?
Engineer, yeah.
He engineered
Yeah, engineer.
in the booth.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did he have his own show?
Only was he an engineer, but he had the student body right. Did you see that coif he used to wear? It looked like he borrowed it from Jim McKay.
Did he have a rug?
It might have been, Doug. What do you think?
I think it's a bad comb over.
It was just a bad.
Yeah.
How about who else had the? Oh, sorry. Hold on. We got to get her back on. Hold on a second.
Our guest.
Oh, Miss Cheryl, how are you, girl?
I'm fine.
Oh, we love you. How are you doing? Good.
Good.
How was your week? Good. Yeah. Who else had the comb over that I always like? Howard Cosell.
Phil
was a definite
Spector.
Phil Spector had one. Cosell's was.
No, Phil Spector had
Phil
every
Spector
kind
in
of
court.
wig.
Yeah.
I think Cosell's was a squirrel. It was not real.
Did it keep moving up there? That kept doing the twist.
Yeah.
Woo. So how's everybody doing? How we doing? Does it feel like we've been away for a minute or what?
I don't know. I feel a little older.
What? Oh yeah,
Dougie feels a
Doug's
little- Oh, yeah.
birthday.
Yeah, I had to say something so I could get
Whoever,
recognition.
whoever's online, we can go ahead and sing.
No, we're not singing.
Okay, well, we tried, but it's Doug's birthday. How
Was.
you feeling? You feeling?
Was.
When was your birthday?
The
Am I
8th.
late?
It was the 8th. No, you were there.
Yeah. What did you get? Anything special?
Yeah, we added on a room to the house.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's every birthday, every Christmas, every
Forever.
anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the picture of your bathroom,
Yeah.
and then I looked at mine, and it's so different.
Well, a little different.
A little
Yeah.
different, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I was
mine's
just
made
kinda
out
curious.
of fiberglass.
I was kind of curious where the ADA certified handrails are.
They're not in yet,
Not
but
yet,
it
that's
is.
good.
Is it coming?
It is
Good.
ADA clearance,
Clearance.
so I can roll any size wheelchair in there that
That's
we might
nice.
need. And,
Yeah. So
Can you roll the Raymond Burr size?
oh yeah,
Really?
yeah. With what was the
Let
guy's
me
name?
in there.
Was the
Let
guy's
me-
name
get
Steve
me
that
in
pushed him
there.
around?
yeah,
Whatever that guy's name was.
yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
I don't know.
So, Cheryl, do you have something for Doug? I heard that you have a present for him. So Doug can open it online. Is it okay? He opens it online. It isn't like some kind of
Risque.
weird toy or something.
No.
Yeah. What you got? What you got? Show me.
She has advice.
Okay, Doug gets to open his present. So whoever's online,
This is.
you
this
guys
is the
wish
guy,
Doug a
Punk.
happy birthday.
She has advice.
He's
for
always
him.
got. He's got a lot of. He's.
Eat more
Get on
vegetables.
that. Get on that mic.
Eat more vegetables.
He wouldn't be able to work in an ice house because
It's
it
a
just
plaque.
it'd still be too hot for him.
It's a parka.
It's not. Go
That
ahead
really
and
crushed
open,
my
man.
back down.
Enjoy your birthday. Happy birthday. Did we get him anything, Monty?
Love.
Oh,
Oh, you can chip in on this.
yeah. Can we see it on the screen? Are you
Yeah.
getting it on the screen?
I'm trying to juggle a guitar, a pick, a
Okay,
microphone,
Yeah, I got
headphones.
it. I got
Happy
him some.
birthday. I got,
I got him a
It's
spot
not-
on the multi.
And actually, this is kind of
float.
selfish on my part because right now I'm freezing. I know.
oh, that's so bad.
Did you hear me?
I did. I hope nobody else heard you because we're giving you a hard time.
We
over
love
there.
you, Doug.
We love you, Doug, to death.
I'm
Happy
thinking,
birthday,
I'm thinking
bud.
this is like 3 minutes of podcast we're not going to get back.
Remember the
time
can
I
of
opened.
the can of nuts with the snake?
Yeah. Is that it?
No.
Oh, what is it? Coffee maker.
It's one of my biggest fans.
Wow, humidifier of some sort. What do you got?
It's like a personal air conditioner for his personal space wherever he goes.
Oh, no kidding.
I thought it was Soda
Well,
Stream.
let's plug it in and see if it
Soda-
works.
It'll take me forever to open it up.
We'll have Cheryl do it for you. Oh, no.
Here's the feedback.
Well, there you go, folks. He got
Super.
himself a personal, we're not really sure.
Thank
It's
you.
a personal air conditioner.
Doug, I thought it was a soda stream for Diet Coke.
I thought it was a hair conditioner
You got.
because I could really use that.
You all need to know that when
Well,
we're
so
in
next week the fan is going away.
it could be 48 degrees
No, no,
outside,
no.
and Doug's got the AC
That's-
going
oh,
full
man.
force.
That's
Have you been in that car?
Yeah.
You have to wear you have to dress up like an Eskimo.
He hangs like
Is that
full,
racist?
full
I've-
pigs in
I've
there.
been writing letters to Ford to ask him how to get it to 45.
You want to make it like a refrigerator? Just
Yeah.
get the refrigerator.
That way,
setting.
I can leave food in there and it won't go bad. Just leave the car running.
Doug, the dude hangs bacon in there. I was riding with him. I don't know if we were going to see some bands or he's got it on. It's winter. He's got it on 65.
Oh yeah, I've been in there, brother, and I'm cold as I don't like cold weather. I've got that native
Yeah,
skin
I'm the
on
same
me.
way.
Yeah. Hey, who was the guy that they put in the meat locker on Goodfellas? Carbone.
Yeah.
Carbone. That's what I felt like.
With the quad.
Yeah, he's like. That's what I feel like in Doug's truck, just like that. I feel like Carbone. Hey, we played Little Cream at the beginning of the night.
The cream.
Mr.
yeah.
Ginger Baker.
Yeah,
was-
Mr. Ginger Baker. Let's show him a picture right here. We got Mr. Ginger Baker right here. And there he
He
is.
looks pretty clean cut and clear eyed.
Yeah, he actually is.
Rest in peace.
What do you guys know about Mr. Baker?
Did he pass?
That's why we're doing this.
When did he?
Are you kidding me?
On
I
the
didn't know-
6th. Yeah.
I didn't even know he passed.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even know he was sick.
I know. Well, there you go, folks. Ginger Baker right there passed this week, and that's another great musician lost. And the deal with Ginger Baker, one of my favorites of the time, is that I'm not really into the rock and roll drummers as much as I am into a guy that can play rock and roll and jazz at the same time. I mean, that guy was unbelievable. I mean, and I was telling my kid today, I'm going, here's a guy in the 60s. Here's a guy in the 60s.
Here's a guy.
Playing a two-kick drum deal, playing jazz on that. Other than big band guys, no rock guys were really doing that.
And he actually had 2 drums and 2 pedals without a chain.
True. Two pedals. Yeah. But it's amazing that he was able to play that rock style with that band. If you guys go online and go to the YouTube 2005, they got reconnected together.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, they solid as ever and just going at it.
It was awesome until they got off stage and
Yeah, if you
Started
guys really
fighting
want to
Did
know
they
about,
fight?
if you guys really want to know about Ginger Baker, watch Beware of Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
It's a documentary. It's really good.
is this another plug for YouTube? Because they're going to have to start paying
Wow,
us.
no
Yeah,
kidding.
You know, man. Yeah.
you know, man. Yeah. What's in that show?
Boy, just insight to who the kind of guy he is, and what I got out of it is he just wanted to play music. He just wanted to be a really good jazz.
He
drummer.
sat in with everybody.
Yeah.
He really did. And didn't he have a jazz band before his ending here? I think there's a few things going where he's a
Was he
jazz
doing some
drummer.
stuff?
But it's hard for me as a drummer or for anybody else to understand how much of a jazz drummer he was playing rock and roll. That's incredible for him to do. Same person that did it, Peter Criss, same guy. Same kind of that, never really whacking the drums, just kind of playing around with them, And I love that, just instead of these the same thing all the time. This guy's just like sloppy. And
It seems like from the hard rock metal genre, the guys that came out of the '60s were more jazz inclined to be jazz fans, like Peter Criss.
Yeah.
50s and 60s, Ginger Baker, Peter Criss.
Well, there just
Bill
wasn't
Ward.
a whole lot of drumming going on in the folk music, so they had to come from somewhere.
This is true.
Until Bob Dylan went electric.
Yeah, so, I mean, a big loss as far as that goes. And who were the other ones that went this week?
Well,
We
he
had
was
a couple
actually
others.
a pretty old guy because Clapton's like 74 or something, and
He was much older.
and he's like 80,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He was that much older?
was like born in
So for as
39,
hard
so
as
yeah.
he hit it, he had some longevity.
Oh, my God, yeah, because he was known
Well,
to take a few, right?
Isn't the drummer in the band the most cardio active?
I thought you were going to say the one that drinks the most. It's
No,
not
no,
true.
no. I think the cardio workout
It
every
is.
time you play.
Yeah. I mean, that keeps my slim figure until you see the tires at the end.
Punk switched from Coke to Diet Coke.
Yeah, I
Light,
did.
Diet Coke Light.
Diet Coke Light.
To keep his girlish figure.
Yeah. But it's I still, to this day, I try to get my kid and other younger folk to listen to that genre of music, which was the 60s into the 70s. Once you got into the 80s, it was a whole different weird thing, electronic drums and all kinds of strange stuff.
It started coming in mid to late 80s, yeah.
It really did. And there's not much you can listen to now that you can really be proud of. I mean, there's some good bands out there, and there's some heavy metal bands and rock bands that are out on it, but they're just not doing what was done in the 70s and the 60s.
It leaves you cold, the 80s stuff. And I'm not, there was a lot of good music created and produced. It's just not, it left me cold. It's not my cup of tea. The electronic stuff and the, that stuff and the drums. And I want an acoustic drum.
Oh, so do I.
I want guitar. That's and that's what
like
we get out of this.
Some of that EDM stuff now, it's like, Jesus.
Yeah, I think that some of the
really
some of the
I don't dig it at all.
even the heavy metal bands at the time, or rock bands, were starting to use triggers, and electric drums and stuff back in the 80s. Thank you. I know.
Yeah, but that's just easier to get a mic. I mean, it's not the actual mic sound. You can adjust it electronically with tone and whatnot.
Toner and whatnot.
Well, you got
that in.
Gotta get
but
that.
I think there will always be a need and a desire to hear stripped down, just at the core.
Oh, it's my
rudimentary instruments. People creating.
I was going to take up the congas.
Hey, I had a conga guy that don't like me.
Oh well, see that.
Would you have your?
I think it was Rick.
mic'd?
Did Ricky Ricardo play the congas?
Yeah.
And he did the same thing on every song.
He had one big drum.
I liked his blouse shirt sleeves.
I like when his hair would get in his face because he was pounding on that thing.
Oh yeah,
it's going nuts.
That's when he went rock and roll. That's why Lucy dug him.
Yeah, he was rock and roll, but he did the same thing on that conga. The same. That was awesome.
Babalu. Every episode he played
Babalu.
with Babalu.
Yeah, Babalu is the key to that. Yeah, so I mean, as far as the rock thing goes these days, you just don't see enough of that meat and potatoes, as you always say, bands out there. Where are they? And if they're not, there's always a 5-piece band or a 4-piece band, 2 guitarists. It's just a wall of noise,
layer upon layer.
Right.
And once again, that's fine. If people like that kind of music,
no, I get that. Yeah,
that's fine. But it's like the Cars, right?
Right.
If somebody said they saw them in concert, did you see them in concert?
I never did. Oh, well, the US Festival, yeah, but it was too far away. Everybody looked like a pimple.
But them and in the studio, layer upon layer upon layer. Then they go live. And they can't duplicate it, and people are kind of left a little flat. Like, well, you guys don't. It doesn't sound like the record. What's going on?
Yeah. I just think that goes on with a lot of bands, though, just overproducing. But that's just something that's going on now. That's why I really like Stone Temple Pilots.
STP.
If you listen to their stuff, watching the violin, that guy was a mess. But
they kept it simple. It was a riff.
Beautiful.
And then the drums and bass jumped in, and then he just,
heavy stuff.
A voice over it.
And live sounded like they did in the studio. It was beautiful.
They were good live. So was Soundgarden.
There you go.
And Alice in Chains, all those bands.
Yeah.
Because I think they kept it simple and they didn't over.
Where is that? Yeah, I can't.
It's probably out there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah, but I just think that more of the bands nowadays just they're getting too much into the overproducing of the product, and I get it. It's not really the band's fault. I think it's the people that manage them and record them. Am I right, Doug? Doug hasn't said a word. He's shocked by his air conditioner.
I'm waiting to talk about something I know about.
Oh, go for it.
Well, I'm still thinking.
Oh, you are. Right on.
Well, I got something for you.
I wanted to say, who's on tonight?
Oh, yeah. Who's on tonight, Cheryl? Do you even know?
Lionel was on. Stelly was on.
Stelly, what's up?
Get on that mic, sister.
And Janine Wells-Gasky is here.
Oh, yeah. Janine, how you doing?
So for all your advance notice, there's 2.
2 people. That's it? Wow.
Maybe because everybody thinks we're going to start at 7:30 again.
Maybe the commercial didn't work at all. Who knows? Yeah. So what was your week like, kids? What did you guys do? Montrose, how was your week?
Week was good.
Yeah.
We did the St. Louis trip.
Yeah.
And hooked up with Ryan's extendo family, Lydia's folks and cousins and aunts and uncles. It was really cool people. live in the suburb of St. Louis, west of St. Louis, called Chesterfield.
Oh, nice.
And a really nice house. And Gary, Lydia's dad's doing a ton of work on it. And just really nice folks out there. Just
You did a quick turnaround kind of thing?
yeah, we just did Friday to Sunday. We flew out early Sunday morning, flew to Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then to L.A.
Did you do coach or did you do first class? Because you're a pretty high-end guy now.
No, I'm not.
You're high dollar.
We're in the back of the plane next to the
couch.
They
stall.
always find the tail section.
They do.
That's Dr. Doom always says, I want to sit in the back of the plane.
So, yeah,
Because they always find the tail section.
Doomage.
Tucked all the way.
I love it.
Did you get peanuts and did you get a meal
No,
on that
they
flight?
serve these cookies called biscotte.
Oh, that's
Because
rich.
they don't do peanuts anymore because of peanut allergies.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
But we did. We ate
They
at a
should
place
just serve peanuts in the back of the plane.
downtown St. Louis.
Because you could choke on them peanuts.
Yeah, they just chuck you out the back. A place called Sugar Fire Barbecue. It's a popular restaurant downtown. Really good. We had the sampler. We come up to the counter. The guy goes, "What you want?" And we haven't been here before. He goes, "I'm giving you the sampler." So he had this big wooden plank with ribs, St. Louis ribs,
Whoa.
turkey.
No.
No.
The Gilligan. Yeah.
Because I'm hungry and you're naming off food and my stomach's
Pulled
gonna go.
pork and brisket.
Oh,
And then they have the bottles of sauce laid out on the table. You just
Yeah.
grab them.
nice, nice.
Oh, and a sausage link. Oh, dude, it was really coleslaw. We had a side of coleslaw and fries.
Did you wear a bib?
Cornbread? Was any cornbread involved?
Yeah, we did. They had some homemade cornbread right on the counter, wrapped up. We took one of the wedge of those, and it was pretty good.
Nice, nice.
But, really cool, but really interesting, guys. We noticed, living in Southern California in this melting pot, and all the races that come together and make it what it is, and I think makes a area stronger. Different races, different parts of the world. Some areas in the country are still a little segregated. There's areas, very homogenized areas, white areas, and then there's non-white areas.
You saw that as you went
Yeah,
there?
you still see it. And
Yeah.
we talked to a couple of. We got off the plane,
Right.
and it was either take taxi or Uber or Lyft or the Metrolink.
Okay.
The train. From
Yeah.
Just right there at the end of the airport, boom, right to downtown, and stops in between. And the gal said, "Yeah, it's like $4 a ticket." So we go, "Hey, we'll do that. We're not in any hurry." So we got on the train and we're riding, and we stood out like a sore thumb. Besides the lime green suitcase that Kona had with us, and we looked like we weren't from around there. But that area of St. Louis is very African American, so a lot of people getting on. And this one guy we talked to, he goes, "Yeah, it's." He asked where we were from. It was SoCal, and he goes, "Oh man, and he knew we weren't from the area." So,
Do you look different than people in other states?
no, not necessarily, but I think maybe there's maybe a look on people coming from the airport.
I get you.
Coming right into downtown, and so. But yeah, it's. He said it's the racism is real, and it's
Wow,
it
it's
is
heavy.
still there, and it's sad, and that's why we're coming back to Southern California. And I was in Monday, I had, day off, and Conan went to work, and I went down to 7-Eleven to get something to drink and get a snack, and I walk in, and there's a black brother, there's an Asian guy, there's a Hispanic guy,
That's right.
there's a Middle Eastern guy behind the counter, and everybody's getting along.
Right, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
cool, and
It's not
I
supposed to
it made me feel great. It's just like we're supposed to love everybody.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. Well,
exactly.
especially California, we are great cultures. We have a ton of them, and a lot of great food from those cultures.
And it's not, not everybody's not racist. out there.
Sure, I get that.
But it still exists. In,
Oh, yeah.
in certain parts of the world, and especially this country, and
yeah.
and it's it's sad, but
You almost feel like a
Over there.
foreigner in your own country.
yeah.
I get that.
Mm.
I get that. How you doing over there, Doug? You all right? You falling asleep? You need some food?
So I went to Jack in the Box last night,
Okay.
and I just was
Here's a story.
getting a large Diet Coke in the drive-thru,
Great story, though, Money.
and this was a very nice story.
Thanks.
It's going to be $2.71 over the speaker. Going to be $2.71. So I pull up. I got the $20 bill and 21 cents for $2.71. Supposed to do the math, $17.50 back.
That's right.
I got 3 5s 2 ones and 5 dimes.
5 dimes. That's heavy.
I'm thinking, and it took her a while to turn around and count the stuff out, and it's like, well, wait, let me do this way. And was she short of quarters? Was she short of tens?
Well, she did it right. You made it difficult for her, so she just made it difficult
right
for you back.
But
she said, "Play with me, dude."
There's some math deficiencies.
There is
going on.
Doesn't the cash register tell you that this is what you?
It tells you the amount, but it doesn't tell you
how to make
it.
A
10, a 5,
Well,
2
she might have been
ones.
short in her bank. First of all, trying to save. Or
I'm short in my bank.
What I'm thinking is that's karma. You never got dissed like that at Del Taco, did you?
Nope.
See, just saying. Just saying.
No.
Cheryl just hit it on the head.
Hit it on the head. Hey, let's rock and roll. Let's do a Monty song.
Del Taco karma.
Montrose.
We're gonna do some Montrose.
Because he cheated on Del Taco.
Monty, when did you write this song? How long ago was it?
I wrote this song last night.
Was it about a girl?
In a soaker tub.
Oh no.
With candles, and it's about chasing chicks. No, it's not.
Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble for that comment right there. All right, we're gonna do a song called what's it called?
Psst. Puck.
I thought maybe it was a ballad.
Oh, I gotta take you off. Yeah, make sure you turn that mic off too.
Take Cheryl off.
Take Cheryl off. Bye, Cheryl. Love you. Bye bye. We're gonna play with Richard. Bye. We'll see you in a bit. Yeah. How long ago did you write that?
When we got together, we all got together in this gig. When we were writing stuff, this was something to riff.
Well, let's do it.
Show Doug, and then we all went, yeah.
Yeah, we like it. Uh-oh, it's coming live. Is it on? Did you just turn that up?
I have to take the fifth and console with my
No,
attorney.
see, that's what's happening. I'm getting a good sound, and then boys are turning stuff up, and what's up with that?
I'm just treating you like everybody else does when you do sound. Let me just,
all guitarists are the same, right?
I can't hear this. I can't hear it.
Good Lord.
Tell me they wanna believe it, they believe it.
just like that.
Just like that. Like that.
I need everything louder than everything.
It's the crowd
else.
roaring.
Cheryl's doing Cobo Hall Arena.
Kobe, that's probably how they did it too, right? Back in the day.
I was hoping for.
Except it was Gene Simmons doing it.
What's
in the studio.
You know, the other day I was thinking to myself, which I often do. Now, if you guys were to pick a lead singer, okay, the lead singer. This is no guitar in hand or anything. Who's your guy, man? I have a hard time with this. You know, the other day I was listening to some music and I'm going, okay, there's the guy lead singer. He's not that good. He's not that good. He's not that good. Who's your favorite?
Are you talking about an all-around guy or vocals?
Vocal
or
only,
front
baby.
Man, not
Vocal
front man?
only.
Living or dead? Or both?
Don't matter. Just says I just want to know your
believe,
favorite that you know, because you guys are music guys. I'm not really a music guy.
Okay, let's go. We got to go
I'm
genre.
a music chick, okay? So
We got to go genre though. Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl, I forgot.
We got to go favorite music,
I always forget
favorite
Cheryl.
vocalist, and hard rock.
Make sure you're on that mic, girl.
Well, I don't think you can really classify Queen as hard rock. I think they're more of a kind of semi on the edge of glam, right?
That's
I
a
mean,
good question
but you know
about
what?
Queen.
Their two early albums are just some really hard, crushing,
Okay, you
heavy
got
rock and
you
roll.
got grand piano in the band. I think that takes him.
That
Yeah,
is
that
not a
takes
disqualifier
hard
because
rock
it's
right
not
there.
on
It is.
every song.
It is disqualification. He's got to only sing. That's what I'm trying to get at. Who's your favorite singer?
Only ever,
He
never
doesn't touch
plays.
instruments, and David Lee Roth, he touches guitar. So who would be your favorite singer?
Ian Gillan.
Very nice. Now here we go, because that was my pick. As
Was
a
it?
matter of fact, yeah.
Or Ray
Well,
Gillan.
Well,
Not his brother, but Ray Gillan had a
the guy.
great voice.
Okay, so it's funny that you hit on that, because you and I hit on the same thing. Was basically the guys who were in Deep Purple. Who else was in Deep Purple that sang for them? David Coverdale. Did you like his voice?
You know, he had a couple of different voices.
What do you mean
He
during
was-
that time?
Well, in Whitesnake, he was really bluesy until they did the 87, 88 album, whatever that was.
Oh, okay.
That he did with John Sykes, and then the other
Oh
guys
yeah,
came
yeah,
in
yeah.
and took over.
Yeah. You mean
That was-
Heart of the Night or whatever it's called?
Still
the
Night,
Night.
yeah.
Yeah.
All of that album was some pretty decent vocals. And the follow-up, Slip of the Tongue, was also pretty good vocals for him. But it's hard to be that screaming guy, and Ian Gillan is still doing it. You know, he's
Still doing it. That's why I picked him. And who was the other gent that sang for him? Rainbow.
Another Gillan, Ray Gillan.
Who's
sang for
singing
him.
Rainbow? I'm
Dio.
sorry. No. Who else?
Graham Bonnet?
Graham Bonnet. One of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, he sang for Michael Schenker Group as well.
There you go. Yeah, just recently too. I saw something where they sang together.
He still gets around and sings with them.
Yeah. So those are my favorites. I don't know if those are yours
So wait a minute,
particularly.
so you got Ian Gillan.
Ian Gillan and Graham Bonnet
Are we doing the top
were my
10?
favorite.
Okay,
and it was weird because why is that? Why is that that time or those bands, Deep Purple, Rainbow, which are all connected?
Because you're listening to them, for starters.
Okay.
You're not. It's not a show necessarily.
But they're great lead singer. I wasn't a big fan of Dio. Were you guys a big fan of Dio?
Oh yeah, the first couple of Rainbow albums were awesome.
Rainbow Rising was
Just
pretty
amazing.
killer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did
But
you?
later on,
Well,
as
that
he's
was
singing-
Blackmore's Rainbow, though. It was, not Dio, his own band.
That's what I'm saying. When
Right.
Dio was his own guy, right?
I like Rainbow stuff with Dio better than I did Dio on his own.
Okay. It was more mystical though back then.
Well,
than
and
it was.
he sang with Black Sabbath for a spell with Heaven and Hell. The album was really good, but I didn't like his live performance stuff. He did too much Bob Chenoweth. He did too much growling. And
Our boy, Bob.
Our boy,
yeah.
Bob. Yeah.
It's got to be noted, though, that Ray Gillan, who sang in Badlands, sang with Black Sabbath for a while.
he was actually doing the Eternal Idol album that Tony Martin ended up being the vocalist on. But there's YouTube. Again, send the checks to Doug Barnes. YouTube.
Again, YouTube.
Cuts of Ray Gillan doing the original songs for Eternal Idol. So put those words together.
Oh, wow.
Ray Gillan and Eternal Idol of Black Sabbath, and you'll hear his vocal on it. But he was sick. He had AIDS and he got sick and died shortly after. And so they brought Tony Martin in and had him redo the vocals, and he did pretty much note for note. So if you
He just
love,
copy Ray Gillen.
and yeah,
Wow.
But I love that album. Tony Martin did a great job on it, but it was Ray Gillen's notes, and I would have loved to heard. You can hear it, but I would have loved it if Gillen was on the album.
Where did Tony Martin come from? You don't know where they got
Don't
him?
know.
I think Dean Martin was his brother. They came from Las Vegas back in the Stardust days. No, but as far as like rock singers, what happened, there was a weird pattern going on with those guys, and especially like in the 70s, not really, but in the 80s, yes, where that pattern was everybody screaming and yelling, the same voice, like a Dio, That's what the hard thing, where Deep Purple always stayed the same. They always had that, variation, a little blues to it, a little bit of highs, a little bit of lows kind of thing.
Ian Gillan could scream. Just listen to Child in Time.
Yeah.
He screams for about 34 bars.
It's the
So your favorites, Doug?
showcase. That was the Gillen showcase was Child in Time. What were you asking?
Your favorites, singer.
He's going to say Diamond Dave Lee Roth.
No, I'm not. That's
Diamond
again,
Dave.
That was me.
He plays acoustic.
That's good.
They never picked up an
Standalone
instrument, right?
guys.
Those cats.
Come on, Dougie.
No, I already spilled. I already said Ian and Ian Gillan and Ray Gillen.
So both.
For me,
but they're spelled different. But go ahead.
for me,
Gillian.
if I could sound like any singer in rock, Steve Marriott, Humble Pie.
Really?
Yeah, that dude, high end, but he had mid range too. He could get down in the mids, but the guy just sang from his guts.
And he played guitar.
And he played guitar. but he was the lead singer.
All right, yeah, but what did you guys think about Steve Perry?
Yeah, Steve. I mean, great
voice.
great pipes. For the genre that he does.
I think he and Raleigh together were like the epitome of a band's vocal opportunity there. They could sing the same song.
Yeah, I
share a
really
song.
liked Raleigh's voice during those first albums, yeah.
But there was a great contrast when, Raleigh finishes his verse and then you go to the bridge or whatever and Perry's singing.
That was good stuff.
But yeah, and I don't know how I do this. I just like bands earlier on than later, and I liked Journey earlier on.
Right.
Well, what happens? They're coming out of the garage or from the local club scene, and they're raw. It's their stuff's new.
Right.
They haven't been polished or commercialized or shrink wrapped. What happens to every band?
Yeah.
Well,
They get shoved
but-
through the studio production system.
It's true.
To make a certain sound for a hit.
And,
Right.
yeah, well, and they have pressures that we got to put something on the
Put an album
radio
out, put an album
and
out.
a better sound. Pretty.
Well, you had Greg Raleigh in the band, and he sang with Santana, so he was already a lead singer, but playing the keyboards, and Santana had other guys sing for him as well. But then you go to Journey, and he's doing the vocals, and then you get Steve Perry comes in, and they're doing the vocals together, and then Raleigh leaves, and Jonathan Cain comes in, and then all the writing changes, and so
yeah,
I think that's where I
it
kind
did
of got
change
off
with him with the boards.
I got off that bus.
And what did you guys think about like Judas Priest? Those guys lead singing with. Did you like his singing? I mean, back in the
I think
early
Rob Halford's-
'70s,
he's a ripping singer.
Halford. I mean, when you see him live, it's Halford. He never falters on what he sings live. It's unbelievable. Or Iron Maiden.
But now he doesn't move around so much. Halford kind of he walks from side to
He
side.
doesn't look good.
He doesn't bend too much because his back's probably.
He looks
shot.
like Frank Furter now. Sorry.
Well, he's got the big trench coat and he just kind of goes like this. This is the
yeah.
crowd.
Sorry.
I was kind of suspect about Halford because when he was going for high notes the last time I saw him, he was standing over a grate on the stage, and there was stuff blowing up at him, and I'm pretty sure they had helium coming up at him in order to hit those high notes.
Yeah.
Jeff Tate with Queensryche is a phenomenal guy.
Great singer.
There you go. I mean, that's what I want to hear. Those guys. But okay, so any of you guys ever see Queensryche live?
Yes.
Yeah.
just on YouTube.
Musically unbelievable. I mean, the band playing great. I just couldn't stand his voice for 45 minutes. I was like ready to like come out of my freaking skin.
Which voice? I mean, the guy's got like 3 of them.
I know, but it's
Silent Lucidity?
yeah. It's just like every song was just that's just me. But that's the reason why I like.
It wasn't. It's not like that unnamed band that we do sound for, where he's laying it out there.
That's
mean,
the
it's-
same thing. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That's where it gets a little crazy. Hey,
But you gotta. But do you think you could like a singer's voice, but be bothered by a continuous
I personally, yes. Other
hearing
people,
of that voice?
yeah, but they make more money than I do playing music, so it's like they're doing something correct.
Yeah, I think you can. Cheryl, go ahead.
Name a singer. What singer?
We're giving you a lot of options right there.
I know,
That's a
but
lot
see,
of
I don't-
options.
I haven't really listened to that much that I'm gonna know if they play an instrument or not, because I'm just listening, enjoying it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, just throw something out there. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm throwing Freddie Mercury out there first.
Freddie,
Freudian.
ready, Freddie.
But Freddie's a of course I was trying to get singers that don't play instruments. Just they just do what they do. That's their
So try
instrument.
again.
But, so you have to listen
I don't really know.
and get down.
There's not that many.
It's not that many. That's right. But the ones that are there are
Paul Rogers plays guitar.
Yeah.
Another killer voice.
Interestingly, though, if you look at where there's a good lead singer like that, a lot of times it's just a 3-piece band in behind him.
oh
There's not a lot of.
Yeah.
It's not the power trio only. It's the power trio and a singer.
And
That's
it's-
right.
You got
Okay,
your
so let me
Fred
throw
Fred
this up.
Zeppelin.
Early Chicago wasn't Peter Cetera the original?
Peter Cetera played bass. So.
He plays bass and
Yeah.
piano
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Great voice, though.
again, we were getting into
and air hockey.
early 70s into 80s, but as far as like bands, Chris Cornell was one of my favorites, and Weiland was great.
Scott Weiland.
Early Weiland. And when you heard him later, and he was doing bad things, his voice had changed and it got really bad.
Well, he thrashed his voice.
Yeah.
It's a substance.
Speaking of injections, I had some
no.
cortisone shot in this hand, so that
Speaking of injections,
Dude, how's it feel?
What was that last week, right?
yeah,
How's it feeling?
it's not bad. The swelling's down from like a trigger finger and the middle fingers on both hands.
yeah.
And I had a shot there when I was getting my back worked on last. And then, but this guy right here was starting to trigger a little bit, so I got a shot last week, and so
How far
We'll
do
see how that
they
goes.
put that deep in that sucker?
it gets right into the joint.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why you rip now.
Well, it helps me hold the pick.
It's not this hand, not the other hand.
It's a lot of I can't do this.
Why don't you just
But
have them sew it together
I'm taking
like
this
that?
back. This is okay. Okay, this doesn't mean anything else. This is okay.
Okay. Why don't you just have them sew it together like that so
Go
you can
for it.
hold her? Hey,
Yeah,
who's online real fast? I'm sorry. Monty.
Nobody.
Nobody?
No, there's a,
Who's online while you're thinking of another singer
You
that
better
doesn't
put
play
your
an
glasses on. Who do we got? We have Jackie
uh,
Crone?
Jack
Crone.
Crone, Susan Galt Barrett.
Susan
Susan Galt. Oh, my God. Susan Galt, man. Lived
Of
around.
course.
And
Who
a
else would it
Stacey
be?
Burton.
Well, Doug,
Holy
she's married
God.
to you guys remember Doug Barrett?
Yeah.
Doug, play football with Doug. Great guy.
Yeah, crazy.
Cool guy.
Susan Galt.
Who
man,
else did
that's
you
a
say
name
after
from the
that?
past.
Stacey Burton.
Stacey Burton, right on. Hey, you know what? You know what's cool about seeing Susan Galt on there is that new people again are coming on to enjoy the garage.
Thanks,
I don't know
Susie.
why, but
Susie, get Doug on
when
here.
you see their pictures that they take on Facebook, I know it's kind of creepy that I'm saying this because it's like I'm spying on, but I'm not.
You
They're
are.
friends and their pictures pop up.
You are.
But those girls, Becky Fellner, Jackie Morris, Julie Villalobos, all these girls that hung out together when we were kids, walk to Peralta, walk home from
Yeah.
Peralta, go to Villa Park, walk home together, Villa Park, date guys, all at the same parties, are still together,
That's cool.
are still friends. Wherever they are,
That's
they
a-
are together.
That's a blessing. I did that.
And all the time, and I just love that. I love to see that because, like us, same deal. You know, it amazes me that you can stick with your
Wait,
friends like that.
You're saying that we're girls?
We are girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's platonic here though.
How do you know that? You don't know that. Maybe just on the side you may know
This
that.
is a family show.
Yeah, I know. I just said
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
Hang on, I got to look up the word platonic.
Platonic.
I was gonna,
Somebody put that
I
word
was
up
gonna
for me.
ask you guys though. What,
I forgot my own rule. Huh?
You did.
Little
words.
we were talking about singers. Why does nobody tribute Nick Gilder?
Hot child in the city.
Why does nobody tribute that guy?
I love that guy.
Is that the only song? Name another song.
I don't think Nick Gilder had another
Hot
song.
Child in the City, Slight Return.
Yeah.
The instrumental.
Revisited.
Revisited.
Redux.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to come up with all those guys, but I mean, there's so many.
There's really good singers.
There is.
You know,
There
guys
is.
guys that we're forgetting about.
Yeah, and for some reason they forget their band sometimes and leave on their own. And you know, Phil Collins did that, but Phil Collins was more of a drummer and a player and all
A
that.
left-handed drummer.
Yeah, but they all seem to want to go on their own, which never pans out that well. I mean, Scott Weiland did with STP, never worked out for him. Velvet Revolver was great though. I don't know if you remember that band.
Yeah, these guys have tons of talent, and they throw it away with the drugs.
That's what it is.
It's like, dude, you got a great rock voice and a great rock band. Why would you want to even mess that up?
That happened to Washington on Welcome Back, Kotter. and Barbarino was doing Give Me Drugs.
Barbarino. Yeah, and they get a lot of carrots dangled in front of their faces, and then they walk away from it. David Lee Roth be one of them. You know what I mean? That he's still.
You wanted to be
You know what? I was going to say
Still
David
on
Lee
it.
Roth, but I thought you guys would mock me.
We are mocking you because David Lee Roth, great performer, not a
in
great
front
singer.
of you, we wouldn't mock you. We'd wait.
Did you think Roth was a
And I
good
expect
singer?
no less.
I know, you know, Roth's really not a singer. You know, he's a vocalist. He's an entertainer. I mean,
Right.
he doesn't
He's
have
a Vegas
He
guy.
doesn't have a pretty voice, but his voice fit with Van Halen in the early years when
Right.
they were first starting out and coming up. Made the first few albums. It fit.
And his voice severely changed too. Smoking has a lot to do with that. But you know, here's something going back to Steve Perry real quick. Not that we really want to soak on Perry, but he came out with some new stuff recently.
Oh yeah,
Pretty good too.
I've heard
a
it.
couple good songs.
our boy Jeff. Yeah, he kicked me in a couple of videos of.
He's lost his voice though.
Well, he can't do what he used to be able to do, but he
And-
still has a nice, sweet voice.
And do you think he got out of Journey because that was happening to his voice at the time, and he didn't want to keep going with that?
That was his hip.
Mr. Cotter.
Oh, go for it. Go for it. What were the girls in Mr. Cotter? What were the ladies? Was there ladies
Did
in
Roger
Mr. Cotter?
There was-
Daltrey ever play
Mrs.
an
Cotter.
instrument?
No, but that's a good point.
Or did Robert Plant ever?
Yeah, he played harmonica.
Yeah.
Really?
He did.
Did you guys like the Who as a
I
band?
love the Who. I like the Who more than the Rolling Stones. Actually.
Again, he's a good front man, Daltrey is, but he doesn't really have a quality voice.
Agree with that.
Well, not
And I
anymore.
agree with that. It live, it's not that great.
Yeah.
In the studio, he's golden. You
I
know?
like a lot of the Who for John Entwistle for that reason. Bass player.
Who was your boy that we used to go over there off of Riverdale and
Scott Smith.
Scott Smith? We used to
Yeah.
go into that guy's house, and that guy would sit there for hours nailing that stuff. Is he still around?
Yeah, he was a John Entwistle freak for sure. He learned all of his lines. I haven't seen or heard from Scott in years.
Great player, right?
Yeah,
was he
he's
ever
really
in a
good.
band?
He didn't do. Last band he was in was a band called Rocky Watts.
Wow.
And that was like
80s?
Mid 80s, early to mid 80s.
If Ray Mahoney's on, Ray, chime in.
Yeah,
Because I'm friends with Ray Mahoney recently on this Facebook thing.
he
So.
jammed with Ray quite a bit, from Orange.
Yeah,
They're both
I
from
mean, he
Orange.
was he a great player outside of that? Because I remember we went there, and I was watching him play to the record, and still to this day, it's like burned into my head. It was so amazing to watch it close up like that. Like
Yeah.
he nailed
Yeah, Scott.
what was on that record. I mean, to the point to where you couldn't even scoot him away from it. But could
Yeah.
he do anything other than that?
Yeah, Scott was a good player. I saw him live with that band he was in, and he, original material was all original material, and Scott was a solid player. Scott spent a lot of time on his bed practicing his bass.
He sure did. Yeah.
Was that a G3 that he was playing back then?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, he had a T-Bird. He had a
Whoever were his neighbors must have hated that guy because, man, he was just
Nothing but bottom end coming out of that
end
room.
jamming, man. The guy was on
burping
fire.
out of his condo. But
Loved
yeah,
him.
no, Scott was a really good guy, good player.
Yeah.
I don't know if what he's doing today.
Yeah,
if he's
yeah.
still playing an instrument, or Ray for that matter. I don't know if Ray's even playing anymore.
Did you guys ever bug your neighbors when you played guitar, Doug?
One time I was, I heard across the ditch, right?
Right.
I hear this guy playing guitar, and I'm going, "Oh, Battle of the Guitars!" So I get my amp and I set it up in the sliding patio door, and I turn the thing up, and I got the big muff on there piled up, it's cranked up, and
Big muff.
yeah, the
Still up there, by the way.
electro harmonics. I got
That's
it right
what
up
they
there.
call
That's right up there.
And so I got all this distortion going on, and it's like probably like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future when that
Blows
one
you
chord.
back.
But I hit it, and I'm like, just wailing away, and from the next door neighbor yells, "Knock it off!" He's out in his backyard, and I'm like, "Oh man!" I just kind of shrunk down and
You close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you,
One
Monty?
day.
Did you have a closet you play in, right? At your old place, right?
a closet?
Yeah. Did you have a closet?
Yeah, I'm still
Did
in
you
it.
come out?
Sorry, No,
Sorry, Kona. Yeah.
Yeah, Doug knows about where we play. Doug was in my parents' garage with us jamming, and the gal across the street every night, she would call and say, "Could you tell them to turn down?" So we'd stop. We wouldn't turn down.
Well, it wasn't every night. It was every night we practiced.
Well, every night, yeah, I meant every night that we practiced, she would call every night.
Right.
And so we would just stop. There would be silence, and then we'd start up on the same level, and she'd call back and say, "Thanks."
Is that right? Psychological. Yeah.
Hey, well, real quick on your neighborhood, was it the Gerbers that lived across the street?
Yeah, Mark Gerber lived across
Mark
the street.
Gerber. I love Mark Gerber. Yeah.
He played
Keyboardist. Yeah.
Was there two sisters?
Ellen and Ann.
Gerber.
Okay.
We played with Gerber with Craig.
Craig Les. Craig checks in, yeah, man.
Yeah, Craig, how
Craig
you
checks
doing
in
if you're
every
on
once in a
there?
That's
Yeah.
when we did that stint that Doug hates us for.
I know, Doug. Sorry. We love you, though. We're back with
Gerber
you.
was in on that?
Gerber was in on that.
Gerbs was in, man. He was keyboard.
We have it on videotape somewhere.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Charlie's
Wait
got
till
it.
you see that videotape. Oh my gosh.
Parachute pants.
Parachute
Parachute
pants.
I paid to
pants.
see
I
that.
had a
Mullets.
definite mullet going.
Mullets.
Monty and I had Mullet City. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were wearing those shirts that were cut right here. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
for that.
A
my
little muscle shirt type thing.
Oh yeah.
the girl
Oh,
that cut
yeah.
my
Good
hair,
looking.
she did me wrong.
She did you
I was
wrong.
getting a shag haircut, and then she goes, "Hey, we want to try this new style?" And I go, "What is it?" And she says,
mullet.
"It's called a bi-level cut." And I'm going, "Yeah, okay, we can give that a try." And then it was just like, "Oh, this is just really lame." And I'd rather use another word than lame, but I can't.
Yeah.
But someday I will.
Okay.
Along with
Not on
this,
this show.
No, but along with this being okay, I'm going to take some other things back.
Celebrities.
Anyway, so it was a really lame haircut, and
Was it a mullet?
What was it called?
Not really a bi-level.
Well, the buy should have been your red flag.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Well, yeah.
Soul Shaker Garage is done for another week, right? And we'll be back. Thank you guys. I love you all. You know that. Cheryl stayed with us on that last one.
Love ya!
We thought we'd let her rock and roll with us on the last song.
Just to see if she was singing along with
Yeah,
us.
she's ready. So remember, guys, you can get us on YouTube. You can keep us on Facebook here. Like it if you want. Go to our site, like this, like that. Do whatever you want to like. And we love you guys to death. We will see you next Thursday.
And
Am I
if-
correct?
And if you want us to stop playing, send money.
Yeah. Throw us money for anything. But you guys, thank you very much. Doug, play us out with something.
Oh, dear.
And don't play the same thing you play every week.
Okay, I'm going to play Voodoo Child.
Play Voodoo Child
No,
again. Here we go, guys.
play Nick Gilbert.
Bye, kids.